leading up to this championship and after round one, much of the talk here at the Open has been about the golf course. The man responsible for setting up Chambers Bay for the U.S. Open is USGA Executive Director Mike Davis, and Mike joins us right now. And Mike, thinking back to what this plot of land was, to its opening in 2007 and to this day, round one of the U.S. Open, you, the USGA, are you happy with the result?
It's been a wonderful first round. I can remember 10 years ago peering over a fence, looking into this old sand and gravel mine with brush, with debris, and to think 10 years later, here we are with the first round. But the golf course has played very well. We started off pretty conservatively in terms of just making sure that this golf course played properly. We're supposed to get a little bit different morning, going to be softer, or it has been soft with not much wind. In the afternoon, it's going to be firmer, and the wind is going to pick up.
So you talk about being conservative today. I'm interested to know, when you see those red numbers out there, right now we have about 10 players under par. How does what happens today affect what you choose to do tomorrow with the setup?
Well, we're not trying to necessarily have a certain score win, but we really wanted to use today to get a barometer of just how the firmness affects scoring. So I would say today, at least the first part of the day, played probably a little softer than some of the practice days, but they weren't keeping score practice days. So this has been good. We think the golf course played beautifully the first part of the day, and let's see how the second part, because one of the things we have seen, although we have overcast skies today, which we haven't had, but when you put water on the night before, what you see the next day is this green hue to the golf course. But by the time you get to the middle afternoon, it's back to being tan and really bouncy. So I think we want to see that today and just see what's the difference between the morning and the afternoon waves in terms of scoring. And then, but I would say, looking at it so far, we wouldn't have many changes for tomorrow in terms of how we want the firmness applied to the golf course.
It wouldn't be a U.S. Open without players complaining about something, and there was plenty of griping going on leading into this, the week leading up, a couple weeks leading into this event. Fair, unfair, especially for guys who really had never seen the place?
Well, first of all, back at the USGA, we sometimes say, if there's not a little griping, we've done something wrong, because there's a long tradition of the U.S. Open being a really tough, stern test. And, that certainly bothers some players. Some players embrace that. But this golf course was so new. Virtually no one that plays the tour on a regular basis had been out here, or the people that had, hadn't seen it under championship conditions. So a lot of unknowns. But I think coming into it, we realized that, listen, this happens virtually every year. Remember last year with the back-to-back Opens at Pinehurst, people were saying, you're going to have a dead golf course, divots are going to be a problem, the greens were going to be alive, the women couldn't handle it, and it ended up being a wonderful back-to-back championships. And then the year before at Marion, where people saying that golf course wouldn't be able to stand up to today's players, or it wouldn't work operationally because of the small size. And granted, it had its challenges, but it was a great U.S. Open. So I think that we came in saying we feel confident about the operations here, and even though we really didn't know all the aspects of this championship in terms of the golf course, how it would play, we had a pretty good idea since we had been here in 2010 U.S. Amateur. So all in all, I think we were so pleased with what's happened so far, and hopefully the next 3 days will be as good.